Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Hope questions Brooke's destiny and Electra screams in terror at a shocking discovery. Today on The Bold and the Beautiful, Deacon lets Electra use Remy's room, Hope questions Ridge's actions, and Ridge makes a vow to Steffi. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. At Brooke's house, she tells Hope that she reached out to Ridge on Christmas Eve, but she hasn't heard back yet. She's starting to think she's not going to. Hope hugs her. Brooke says she and Ridge hurt each other. He felt betrayed, the way it looks. I just never imagined that he would. Hope says, turn to Taylor, and so quickly Brooke sighs, yet. Hope fumes, how could he? At the Forrester mansion, Ridge is staring at his phone when Steffi comes in. She figures he's thinking about Brooke and processing. She recaps what she did. Her daughter stole the company and Brooke stole his job. She betrayed all of them. Steffi pulls her dad into a hug. At Forrester, Katie is working away in the design office when Will enters. He wants to talk to her about Electra. He needs to know why she fired her. Will recaps that she put him off before, but that's not acceptable. What happened? Katie sighs. She wishes her all the luck in the future. Will asks if she let her go because she's a Forrester. Katie says no. Will wants to know the reason then. What did she do that warrants her losing her job? Katie questions how well he really knows the young woman. At Il Giardino, Ivy tries to coax Electra to eat. She wanted her first Christmas in LA to be a happy one. Electra says it wasn't all bad. She hung out with family and with Will, who has been so supportive. They can't understand why she was fired, she was doing a good job. Remy appears and Ivy tells him it's nice to finally meet him. He's noticed Electra seems upset and asks what's wrong. She says she was fired from Forrester. Electra doesn't know why. Remy sits and says, that sucks. He starts complaining about Los Angeles and tells her it might be for the best. Electra thought she was getting somewhere. Remy believes in her. He tells her that she can count on him. Electra admits she's sad. Remy tells her she doesn't need those people. I'm here for you, just like before when everyone turned their backs on you at home. Electra doesn't want to think about those deep fake photos. Deacon interrupts to ask Remy to clean the grill. Remy tells Electra he'll never abandon her. At Brooke's place, Hope tells her mother that Ridge shouldn't be punishing her for what she and Carter did. Brooke says it wasn't about that. Hope can't believe he turned to Taylor. She's always saying she and Ridge are meant to be, but what if they're not? If they were, he wouldn't be seeking solace with Taylor, he'd be there with her right now. Hope wants her to be realistic right now. For Ridge to turn to Taylor of all people, would a committed man do that? Please, try to be honest with yourself, Mom. Is Ridge really your destiny? Brooke sighs. She hates this whole situation. Hope won't let her put this on herself. Brooke says they promised not to let anything come between them. Hope says Ridge broke that promise. Brooke won't. It's a big mistake. She won't just let him walk away. We belong together. There is only one man for me. Ridge Forrester. At the Forrester mansion, Ridge tells Steffi he can't understand Brooke coming over there to tell him what she did. Steffi thinks she was probably planning to turn on the waterworks. Ridge reminds Steffi that what happened with her mother had nothing to do with Brooke. Steffi knows. She warns him not to look back, you have to look to your future, whatever that is. Steffi hopes they get another Christmas miracle. Ridge doesn't want to drag Taylor through all the stuff they're going to go through. Steffi reminds him that her mother always supports him. She asks him to tell her he knows this. Ridge grunts, "You know that I love your mother." Steffi recaps how he helped her with her heart condition. It's been a turning point for her. She's happy for them. Whatever this is, she wants to be able to trust it. Ridge says, "Trust me, you mean?" Steffi says her mom's heart is still healing. "Please don't break it." Ridge won't pretend he's perfect, that won't work for anyone. He knows he didn't treat her mom's heart with the care it deserves, but he's not there to break it. Their relationship seems stronger than it's ever been. Life with her mom, her, Thomas, and Phoebe, it's always been a safety net for him. They love him completely. That's what your mom is doing. They embrace. At Il Giardino, Deacon tells Electra he overheard about her losing her job. He shares that he's been canned more times than he can count. He's sure she'll bounce back, she's a forester and is resilient. Electra is worried about being upset in the restaurant, so Deacon suggests she go up to Remy's room. He hands her the key. In the design office, Will asks if Katie has a problem with Electra. Katie wonders if she's bad-mouthing the company. Will says her heart is broken, but she's not angry, just confused. She's kind and hard-working. If I can help her, I will. He won't turn his back on her the way Forrester did. Electra lets herself into Remy's darkened apartment and calls, "Hello Remy, are you in here?" She makes her way into the inner sanctum to a sink to freshen up. She's wiping her nose when she looks at the reflection in the mirror and sees Remy's sick collage of photos of her on the wall and starts screaming in terror. Hope questions Brooke's destiny and Electra screams in terror at a shocking discovery. The cold wind howled through the cracks of the old mansion as Hope stood by the window, staring out into the dark, barren landscape. The night had swallowed the world outside, and only the faint glimmer of distant stars pierced the void. Her fingers trembled slightly as she pressed them to the glass, but it wasn't the chill of the evening that unsettled her. It was the weight of uncertainty that gnawed at her, threatening to consume her mind. Brooke, her closest friend, had always been the one to keep things together. Strong-willed, resolute, and fiercely independent, she had faced every challenge with an unshakable confidence that inspired admiration. But tonight, Hope felt a shift, a change that was hard to put into words, a ripple in the calm waters that had once been Brooke's life. Hope had always trusted her instincts, but what they were telling her now was something she didn't want to believe. She had noticed the signs in recent days, the way Brooke had grown distant, her once lively eyes clouded with a shadow of doubt. It wasn't like her at all. Something had been happening behind the scenes, something Brooke refused to speak about. And now, as the minutes stretched on, Hope couldn't ignore the suspicion that something far more sinister was at play. Her thoughts were interrupted by a soft creak behind her, and she turned swiftly, her heart pounding in her chest. It was Brooke, standing in the doorway, looking every bit the woman who had once been a beacon of strength and assurance. But there was something in her expression that made Hope's stomach churn. "Brooke?" Hope asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Brooke stepped into the room slowly, her movements deliberate, as though she was unsure of what she was about to say. Her eyes, once filled with spark and energy, were now distant and hollow, as if they had seen things that Hope could not fathom. "Hope, I need to tell you something." Brooke's voice was strained, trembling with emotion she couldn't fully contain. "Something I've been carrying for so long that it's starting to break me." Hope's breath caught in her throat. She had never heard Brooke speak this way before, not in all the years they had known each other. The fear in her voice, the vulnerability it was like nothing Hope had ever witnessed. Something deep inside her told her that the truth Brooke was about to reveal was far darker than she could ever imagine. "What is it?" Hope whispered, her mind racing with possibilities. Brooke hesitated, her gaze flickering toward the door as though she feared someone or something was listening. Then, finally, she spoke, her words barely audible. "I don't belong here, Hope. Not in this world. I'm not who you think I am." Hope felt the blood drain from her face as the words sank in. The air in the room seemed to thicken, the atmosphere growing heavier with each passing second. It wasn't possible. Brooke was her friend, her confidant. How could she say such a thing? Hope opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. Her mind was racing, trying to process the enormity of what Brooke had just said. "I don't belong here," Brooke repeated, her voice breaking. "I've been lying to you. I've been lying to myself. I thought I could escape it, but the truth always finds a way out." "Escape what?" Hope asked, her voice trembling with both confusion and fear. Brooke's eyes flickered toward the old wooden box resting on the mantel, a box Hope had never noticed before. It was small, unassuming, but there was something about it that made Hope's blood run cold. Brooke walked over to it, her fingers brushing the surface, before turning to face Hope again. "This box contains the answer," Brooke said quietly, her hands shaking as she lifted it. Hope's heart began to race. She wanted to ask more questions, to demand answers, but something told her that they were about to uncover a truth that could shatter everything they thought they knew. Before she could react, a loud crash echoed from the hallway, followed by a blood-curdling scream that sent ice through Hope's veins. The sound was unmistakable. It was Electra. Hope's breath caught in her throat as she spun toward the door. Without thinking, she rushed down the hallway, the frantic beat of her heart pounding in her ears. When she reached the source of the scream, she froze, her stomach lurching in horror at the sight before her. Electra stood frozen in the doorway of the library, her eyes wide with terror, her face drained of color. Her body trembled violently, as though she had seen something beyond the limits of human comprehension. "Electra," Hope whispered, her voice barely audible. "What's wrong?" Electra's eyes locked onto Hope, her gaze filled with an undeniable fear. You need to see this. You need to see what's inside." Hope stepped into the library, her heart pounding in her chest. There, in the center of the room, was a large, old book lying open on the floor. The pages were yellowed and tattered, but it wasn't the book itself that caused the terror in Electra's eyes. It was the image printed on the pages. It was a drawing, but it wasn't just any drawing. It was a detailed, intricate portrait of Brooke, her face twisted in an expression of agony. Hope felt her breath catch in her throat as she stared at the image. She recognized the features. It was undeniably Brooke, but the look of pain, of suffering in the portrait was something that sent shivers down her spine. The drawing seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy, and the air around it felt thick and suffocating. It's her," Electra whispered. But this was drawn long before she even arrived. Hope's mind raced, unable to process what she was seeing. Could it be true? Was everything Brooke had said about not belonging here connected to this eerie discovery? The room began to spin, and Hope's knees grew weak beneath her. As the weight of the discovery settled on her shoulders, Brooke's voice echoed from behind them, quiet and resigned. "It's true, Hope. I don't belong here. This world wasn't meant for me. And I'm not the person you think I am." The air grew colder as a shadow passed over the doorway, and Hope realized, with a sickening sense of dread, that the truth was far more terrifying than she had ever imagined. The world they knew, everything they believed in, was built on lies, and the answers they sought could never be found without paying a terrible price. As Electra's scream echoed in the distance, Hope understood that their destinies were forever intertwined with the dark forces that lurked beneath the surface. And there was no turning back.